The Catholic Morning Show on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for ending your work week here with us. Hope you have a beautiful, restful weekend. Thank you from Iowa Catholic Radio. This is the Catholic Morning Show. I'm Bo Bonner with Alexia Baker, Ayden Pugh, and Brady Grimm. Make sure to join us next week, Monday at 7 a.m. We'll hear from Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School. Get a preview of Man Up with Joe Stopulus and recognize Mental Health Awareness Month with Catholic Charities Barbara Graham and Abby Fouch. So make sure to tune in then as well. We are 15 minutes away coming up from the top of the new hour and, of course, the next show. Let's turn now to our final interview of the day. Let's turn now to our interview with Rebekah Hagan. She is one of today's most passionate and relatable voices on the topics of unplanned pregnancy, chemical abortion, abortion pill reversal, and faith-based pro-life advocacy. She is coming to town Thursday, June 4th, with the InnerVisions Gala at the Iowa Event Center. Rebekah, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know that people are always excited. InnerVision puts on some of the best parties. Also in studio, we have Brian Gonzalez. You have something to say about the gala. It sounds like you've maybe been involved a bit.
A little bit, just a tad, yeah. Good morning, Bo. Good morning, Rebekah.
Rebekah, if you don't mind sharing people a little bit about your story and how it has come about that you've had the chance to go to various places and talk about the pro-life movement.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honored to share, truly. I have been in this ministry, the Pregnancy Help Ministry or movement, for probably the last 10 years, and it was because of the help that I received from an incredible pregnancy help organization just like InnerVisions in my lowest moment when faced with not my first, but my second unplanned pregnancy. And with my first child, I chose life and I saw hope and kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. And with my second, shortly thereafter, it was the complete opposite. It was no hope in sight. It was dark and alone. And in that moment of panic, I began searching for a way out. And unfortunately, for so many young women right now, in the time in which we live, that way out looks like abortion, particularly chemical abortion, because it is so accessible and so acceptable by society. And so that night on June 4th, I'll be sharing my personal story of unplanned pregnancies, of choosing chemical abortion, and what happened when a place just like InnerVisions stepped in and radically transformed my entire life.
Well, when you get the chance to take something so personal as the story that you just have pointed out to, and what you'll give it more full detail on June 4th, what has it been like to tell that story to many different groups and hear back both from people who support places like InnerVisions, but also themselves have been through what you have and have had the chance to do things like abortion reversal or to receive care, as you said, from places like InnerVisions?
Every single time I'm able to speak somewhere, share my story, meet people, it, for me, feels like a ministry opportunity. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to use our story to really educate believers on what's going on. I fully believe that not enough people are aware what's happened with chemical abortion, how easy it is to access for their own daughters, that this could happen in their homes, that it happens to Christian girls that know better. And I think the more awareness, the more people we get involved, the more we can end abortion and create a culture of life that affirms and values all life. And I'm just honored every single time I get to share.
Well, it is the case, of course, that major Supreme Court overturning of Roe versus Wade, but the Dobbs, everything like that. People heard that in the news, but increasingly we are dealing with this reality not only about what the abortion pill does as a chemical abortion, but its widespread availability, that people, as it were, took the decision and used that as marching orders to, further pro-choice options. For your ministry and your ability to go around and talk with people, what is the sort of sense on the reality on the ground when it comes to the abortion pill and what people need to know about it that they might not?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Supreme Court, listen, I think that the FDA absolutely needs to reinstate the guidelines that were once in place, because chemical abortion is dangerous and women have no idea what they're getting themselves into. However, the reality is I know that laws, while they're great, don't always change hearts and minds. And the most desperate of people, women like me, searching for a way out, are still going to turn to the internet to access chemical abortion. And unfortunately, right now, there are over probably 85 online distributors, most of which are overseas, coming from sometimes third world fringe countries, willing to mail them these abortion drugs and not caring at all about our laws. And that's why our brick-and-mortar pregnancy health centers like InnerVisions are doing the boots on the ground, transformative heart work, because yes, abortion can be illegal, but as long as it's still accessible, we're going to have a problem.
Well, and as you have pointed out in the various work that you do, hope, grace, and truth are the foundations of building this different culture. So there's a lot of emotional, spiritual, and cultural pressures, of course, surrounding abortion that your personal story points out and recognizes. But you have pointed out the urgent need for compassionate church-connected pregnancy support. So what did that look like for you, and what would you say to those who are listening that are ways that they can be practical and take steps forward of making that a reality?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I would say back in the day when I was growing up, unfortunately, while I had a lovely church, it was a church that was silent on the issue of abortion. It was a church that did not partner with their local pregnancy health center. I had never even heard of such a ministry. And because they were silent, I didn't know where to turn. I turned to the abortion industry in the moment of my panic. And that's part of the reason I'm so passionate for the church to get involved, because when they're silent, the rest of the world is loud, and their parishioners certainly have questions and need to be discipled when it comes to the topic of abortion. They need to know about our pregnancy health ministries. And as far as what that looks like, practically speaking, oh my goodness, partnering with places like InnerVisions, doing baby bottle drives, hosting Bible studies at the center, bringing your youth group to tour and to see ultrasound so that children are so full of the truth that they can call out a lie when they hear it as they get older. Being a church liaison, there are so many practical ways to partner with your local pregnancy health ministry as a churchgoer.
Well, and what you demonstrate, of course, in your person yourself, but also in your talks, is it's important to hear out the mindsets of women who search exactly for things like solutions to their difficulties through chemical abortion, but also to hear people, of course, now you live in Louisiana, you have 4 children, to be able to be on the other side of that and look back and be able to comment on it. Is that sort of a first step for many of us in the church, is to hear from women like you about what these realities look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we reach a mom, we reach a dad, we save a baby, and so often it's done in the inverse order, and it's a disconnect. Women are saying things like, you don't understand, you don't get me, and so you lead with her needs first. We're pro her. We kind of unravel the mindset that she's in, and then through that lens are able to offer practical help that then she takes, and ultimately we hope that a baby is saved and that her life is transformed.
Well, Brian, just real quick, if you don't mind, one more time, letting people know where they, when and where this is going to be, but where they can register, where they can find out more information and all that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Bo. So InnerVisions Healthcare 15-year anniversary gala on Thursday, June 4th. Visit our website, ivhcare.org, ivhcare.org, and you can find more information to register. Just under 3 weeks. RSVPs are due, I think, by like the 22nd or something. So it's coming up, and we're looking to have 1,200 of our favorite friends and family join us to hear Rebekah's incredible story and to hear updates from the ministry.
Well, we have about a minute left in the interview. Rebekah, before we let you go, if there's one last word that you just want to share with our listeners, not only to prompt them to go, like we said, Brian said, to the website and hear more about your story, but just in general, what would you like to leave our listeners with, a word of encouragement?
Oh, my word. I think that the time is now to get involved. It's an exciting time to be in the pregnancy health ministry. Yes, we would love to have you at this event, but even if you can't come, please reach out to Brian. Partner with your pregnancy center. We need you.
Rebekah Hagen is one of today's most passionate, relatable voices on the topics of unplanned pregnancy, chemical abortion, abortion pill reversal, and faith-based pro-life advocacy. She is the speaker for InnerVisions Gala coming up Thursday, June 4th at the Iowa Event Center. Rebekah, thank you for coming on the Catholic Morning Show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
We really do appreciate it.
Listen to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7 a.m. Central on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, iowacatholicradio.com, or the Iowa Catholic Radio app.